Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. And in the studio with us is Kevin Mottus, environmental health advocate. His website, kevinmottus, MOTTUS.com. And you can tweet him at Kevin_Mottus. And Dr. David Carpenter, who's a public health physician and director of the Institute for Health and the Environment, a collaborating center of the World Health Organization, as well as a professor of environmental health sciences at Albany, at University of Albany School of Public Health. And you can tweet him at uAlbany. And albany.edu is the website. And gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us. So there's this new cell phone technology, 5G, right? We're at 4G right now, I think is the current state of the art. And each one of these Gs seems to get us into higher frequencies. So we're moving up the microwave band. Is 5G moving us into the part of the microwave band that you find with microwave ovens that can actually cook things? Is that the deal?
Well, 5G
Dr.
is
Carpenter?
higher than what our microwave ovens use.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, microwave ovens, they cook your potato by generating heat.
Right.
And our cell phone technology right now is the same frequencies as microwave ovens.
So that's, what, 2, 3, 4 gigahertz in that neighborhood?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the movement to higher frequencies involves higher energies. And therefore, we're concerned that it's going to result in greater health hazards to humans than our current technology, which already we're showing is associated with increases in certain kinds of cancer, in certain kinds of effects on the nervous system, and holding a laptop in your lap reduces your sperm count.
Yeah, but now in the radio frequency spectrum, if you're trying to transmit something in the low end, in the lower end, in 80 meters, 40 meters, 3 megahertz, 10 megahertz, 21 megahertz, in the 10 meter band. You can bounce off the clouds, I mean, you can literally talk around the world, but you get up into 2 meter, wavelengths, and this isn't even microwave. You can only do basically line of sight or shorter distances. Isn't there a problem with these higher microwave frequencies that they're actually going to find it harder to penetrate things like glass and things? I mean, or at that level, when you get up in these really high frequencies, does it not matter?
Well, what we're concerned about 5G is that it's going to require a transmitter about every 3 to 10 homes. So you're talking about a small cell tower placed in front of your home. We already know there's cancer.
Because at these high frequencies, you can't have...
Doesn't travel very well.
Yeah, okay,
and people need to understand, it's 24 gigahertz to 90 gigahertz. These are not 2 feet. These are 2 inches to half an inch. And this is very dense wireless radiation hitting our bodies. What we know is that it pulses more. It's got higher frequency, more waves per second. It beats up the cells more. The World Health Organization's already classified wireless as a possible carcinogen with the new evidence and study that came out from the National Toxicology Program, providing the animal studies to go along with the human studies that coincide with the biological studies of cellular damage we already have, and the mechanism that we show that wireless radiation can cause cancer, not from a direct pulling of the electron by ionizing radiation, but indirectly by increasing free radicals, damaging DNA that can lead to cancer and a host of other serious disorders.
It's basically you're vibrating the molecules, correct me if I'm wrong, in the body, as specifically water in particular.
Well, that's how a microwave oven works.
Right.
Before heating.
My concern is that these are non-thermal effects.
Uh-huh.
And there's been evidence for many, many years that there are human health effects and there are biological effects at intensities of microwaves that do not cause measurable heating. Now, that isn't to say...
What's the mechanism of action?
Well, we don't know exactly what the mechanism of action is, but we do know that it generates these reactive oxygen species.
Right.
We know that it induces genes in cells. We know some of the specific genes that are induced. We know from studies of humans that a cell phone held to your head increases the uptake of nerve cells of glucose, which is what nerve cells use for energy.
Right.
So there are biological effects. Now, is it heating at a level we can't measure? That may be. The problem is the Federal Communications Commission sets all safety standards at levels to prevent measurable heating.
Right.
So what the mechanism is at these non-thermal levels, non-thermal being...
That's interesting.
What we quote...
Gets into the question of how much harmonic stuff is going on in our own body, just as a...
That's correct.
You know.
That's exactly
so we're only protected against being heated or burned.
So here's the question. I mean, you know, the Danes did this study back, what was it, about 8 or 10 years ago, that found that there was a correlation between cancer and cell phone exposure. But that was at a time when the frequencies were not as high, but the powers were much, much higher. And you know, the shtick from the cell phone industry is, oh, we've got much, much lower power now. We've got more towers. We've got more sensitive receivers. We're transmitting at, you know, in microwatts instead of milliwatts, or in low numbers of milliwatts. You know, and have there been any studies that show that there's actually cancer clusters around cell phone towers, for example?
Absolutely, and all over the world. And also the U.S. National Toxicology Program study came out with partial findings, a $25 million study done by the U.S. that showed just that there it wasn't about power or heating. And what we know is it's more about frequency, pulsation, and modulation. And none of those things are being measured for safety before they roll out these new frequencies. We are literally microwave radiating our population, and we're wondering why there's so much cancer and chronic illness. People need to understand the Senate has already passed out of the Commerce Committee the Mobile Now Act, S-19, and they've also passed out the Digit Act, which is S-88. And people need to contact their senators and say no and tell them to put a hold on these acts so they never get heard by the Senate, because
or stop them in the House.
Or stop them in the House. The people need to understand they're going to pave the way for them to require timelines, incentivize local governments, and all of it's going to be done exempt from environmental review, exempt from looking at health and safety.
Are there any other countries that are looking at 5G at this frequency band, at these very high frequencies?
A lot of other countries are pushing it. There's very few studies that are going on, and the problem is they're often funded by industry, and so they're designed around the problem. They know where the problems are. But we already know the lower frequencies cause cancer and neurological problems. We expect this to be much worse, much quicker, and we are literally experimenting with people's lives. So S-19, the Mobile Now Act, needs to be stopped, and specifically, you need to contact Senator Thune, who's out of South Dakota, and you also need to contact Senator Nelson, who's out of Florida, who's sponsoring these bills. You also need to contact Senator Deb Fisher, who's authoring the Digit Act, and also contact Senator Booker out of New York. But we should contact all our senators, because only one senator can put these bills on hold. And if it's on hold and needs more information, they cannot be heard by the Senate. We need to start pushing back and stop allowing them to use us literally like rats in an experiment. What happens when people get exposed to microwave energy? We know what happens.
What is the industry? I mean, right now they've got a frequency spectrum where they can put towers at, say, every 10 or 20 blocks, whatever the distance is, because you can get a reasonable transmission over that period of time or space. You're suggesting that these very high, you know, above 20 gigahertz frequencies, that they're going to have to go every couple of houses. That seems really expensive for the telco industry. Why would they do that? Is it that they're running out of bandwidth?
You know, $56 billion to roll this out. And how much to look at health effects? Zero.
Right.
Zero. And that should disturb people. And the way they built out the whole cell tower network is by passing the 1996 Telecom Act. In that was Section 704. In that part of the provision, it says that local and state governments cannot look at health and safety. So when they put a cell tower near your house, you can go there, you can talk about, Tom, whether you like this tower or not. But I've been to these meetings, they'll say you just can't talk about health and safety because we cannot consider it in placing it. That's how they rolled these out. That's how they rolled out all cell towers and built out the network. That's how they're going to roll out these small cell transmitters. It's absolutely wrong because they are literally legally banning you from looking at thousands of studies that will help protect our citizens. This is absolutely wrong. This is a grave injustice, and people need to stand up. The Mobile Now Act, S-19, the Digit Act, S-88, they must be stopped. And scientists like Dr. Carpenter, you can look at emfscientist.org. For me, if you want more information or to get involved, it's WEA Now, Wireless Education Now, 7 at gmail.com. WEA Now, said the number 7, at gmail.com. We need legal assistance. We need funding. We need organizational help. We need to stand up because the agencies, the federal agencies that are supposed to look out for your health simply aren't doing it. I've had their hands tied by Congress, and they've been guided by, unfortunately, representatives that are looking out for corporate interests rather than the public's
interest. Money from the industry. So what's the alternative? If you say, no, you can't go to these, you know, above 20 gigahertz frequencies, you're going to have to stay at the microwave frequencies that we're at right now that our microwave ovens use. and they say, but we need to expand. People want more cell service. People want more data. At higher frequencies, can they embed more data in the?
But understand it. It's the frequency, wired connections. Fiber optic to the home, and then wired connections in the home is the safe solution. No microwaves,
go back to old-fashioned phones.
No, go back to fiber optics. Was not old-fashioned. Use wired connections.
Well, I don't mean old-fashioned like, but wired phones.
And test the frequencies before you release them on the public for this oxidative stress that's been shown to damage cells.
So do you not carry a cell phone?
I don't carry a cell phone, and by golly, I use a wired line. I use wired connection to the internet. It's faster. It's more secure from being violated. And on the phone line, people can hear me a lot more clearly, and my phone doesn't run out of power.
Yeah.
So that's what we should be doing, using wired connections in addition to mobile to maximize our benefits while minimizing our structure. Now what we're doing is maximizing people's exposure from young to old in schools, now in all environments, from home, school, and outside of school. And now close up to our home, and now low frequency and high frequency. We are absolutely and completely and thoroughly microwaving our population. This is reckless at best. This is absolutely harmful and criminal in reality.
Right. Dr. Carpenter, if somebody wants to see the actual science on this, where do they go?
Well, I was the co-editor-in-chief of the Bioinitiative Report. Go to www.bioinitiative.org. Mm-hmm. It's an encyclopedic review of the literature showing harm. There are many other sources. I would be happy to send copies of studies I've done. Just email me at dcarpenter@albany.edu. The science is very strong, and this National Toxicology Program is very important. This was a government study demonstrating that if you exposed rats to current cell phone frequencies, they develop the same brain tumor that humans develop if they use a cell phone held to their head.
I always wondered about Teddy Kennedy, because he constantly, when those early phones came out that were really cranking out the juice, he constantly had one to his head.
Exactly. Nobody has pursued that, but I have had information that he used a cell phone very, very regularly. He had the same kind of brain cancer that's most associated. Right. Neoblastoma.
Neoblastoma, thank you.
Another website is saferemr.com out of UC Berkeley School of Public Health. They've been following the research worldwide. So people should look at that also for more information.
Yeah. There's just huge amount of information. And our concern is that the regulating agencies, particularly the FCC, ignore it. They set their standards based on this measurable heating.
Right. When
you have thousands of studies of human health, of animal health, of cellular effects.
But there's another mechanism at work.
There's another mechanism. Yeah. We know what that other mechanism is. It's the same mechanism that causes cancer from other agents like dioxin and arsenic, things that are not directly mutagenic. They don't directly damage DNA, but they are known human carcinogens operating through this mechanism of free radicals, oxidative stress.
Mm-hmm. And so people need to wake up. Environmentalists need to wake up. These these small cell towers are coming to your neighborhood. And every 3 to 10,
Are they going to put them on the transformers or something?
They're going to put them in public right away, so you don't have to be informed and there can't be any pushback.
Power lines are underground. I mean, are we going to see
light poles, anything in public right away? So
light poles will be where they are.
In public right away, you won't have any ability to be even notified, much less pushback. And of course, health and safety will be exempted from being looked at. This is absolutely wrong what they're doing. The FCC needs to be held accountable. Our elected officials need to be held accountable. People need to stand up because people are definitely going to get sick from this. Neurological effects, headaches, dizziness, confusion, difficulty sleeping, cancerous health effects depending on your weakness in terms of cancer. Leukemias and brain tumors have been highly associated with this type of exposure, but other types of cancer depending on your particular weakness.
Remarkable stuff. We're out of time here. Kevin Mottus, you can find
WEA Now.
Say it.
WEA Now 7 at gmail.com. Okay. WEA Now.
And Dr.
7.
David Carpenter at, thank you both.
dcarpenter@albany.edu.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
We'll be back with your calls and more of the news of the day right after this.